Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike. Thank you for spending a part of your day with me. Now, the other day was Blink-182 Day. It's my favorite band of all time. The reason it's Blink-182 Day is because it was July the 1st or 2nd or something like that. 182nd day of the year, meaning we're exactly halfway into the year. Why am I karate chopping my own nutsack right now? I don't know. Mind your fucking business, pal. This is a ranking of the best and worst of the year so far for me. I've seen 34 films because I'm a fucking nerd. How many of you guys seen, by the way? Comment down below. Not like a competition way. I'm just interested to see like how many films, new films, 2022 films everyone's seen. One thing I want to mention about this list is it's just my personal preferences. I'm not saying I may have a movie somewhere above another movie. I'm not saying that worldwide it's a better film. I'm just saying for me, these are my favorite films ranked. And it's going to be weird because the lowest ranked movie I have on here at number 34 is a movie called C for Me, which still was like a 4.5 for me. You guys get out of here with that shit. Go on. Go fight in another room. I'm talking to my dogs, not my kids, don't worry. The highest ranking movie I have on this list is an 8.5. So there's not really been like a perfect film this year for me, and there's not really been that much total trash. This whole year's just kind of like right in the middle. It's very strange. Anyways, let me shut the fuck up and get into the list. Shall we? Okay. You want a date? No? Alright. Cool. Just kiss a little? No? Alright. Number 34, C for Me. This movie was just bad for me. It's about a skier who's blind, who's house sitting for Airbnb, and these criminals come in and they take hold of the house. Not any likable characters in the movie, and it had the worst sin of being boring and nothing happening. One of those movies that thinks it's smarter than it is, and you're like, no, I get it. It's pretty fucking simple. It's right there in front of my face. At number 33, we have Men, which I watched just last night. I watch Men every night. You know what I'm saying? What? Men was a movie that pissed me off because I don't really get upset about political stuff. Like, I get that women's lives are hard, right? I'm not here to disagree with that. My wife goes to the gas station and some fucking just trying to pump gas, and some meth head's like catcalling her, dragging his dead leg over, like, come on, honey, what's your man got to do with me? What I don't understand is taking a very simple point, and just the whole point of the entire movie was just, hey, men are fucking terrible. They're all fucking terrible, and guess what? It's just gonna keep happening. Shittier men are gonna breed shittier men because all men fucking suck, and if you're a man, fuck you. I thought it had good acting that was wasted by a director who was more interested in being mysterious than he was actually making a good film. Like, if I just make it convoluted, people think I'm smart as fuck, man. Slap A24 on that biscuit and put it out to the people. Choose or Die is number 32. It had a cool brain scan-like premise. It just never went anywhere fun or that exciting. Number 31, White Hot, The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie and Fitch. Just a little Netflix documentary. Nothing was wrong with it. It was fine. It was just, it was about all the fucked up shit that went on behind the doors of Abercrombie and Fitch. And like, I'm pretty sure we all knew fucked up shit was going on behind the doors when there's a half-naked teenager standing outside the doors. What's inside is probably not going to be a Disney film. But yeah, it was all right. Number 30, Moonfall. This movie, Roland Emmerich, it was typical just Roland Emmerich bullshit. A bunch of over CGI'd crap. A story that made no sense whatsoever fucking ever. But a couple cool shots of a moon crashing into an Earth, which made it an enjoyable time if you're in for that kind of film. It was fine. Kind of sucked. And number 29, Ambulance. Typical Michael Bay film as of late. I like this earlier stuff. And sometimes I don't mind a Michael Bay movie because it harkens back to the 90s where shit was just weird and nobody gave a fuck. But now he takes one little scene and he stretches it out for 3 hours, and he has great actors in it that carry the movie. If this didn't have the cast that it had in Ambulance, it would have been completely unwatchable. I usually like this kind of film. I walked away with a fucking headache. Number 28, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Love the first Sonic movie because I love Jim Carrey, and it brought us back crazy, wild Jim Carrey in a role we hadn't seen him in a little while. Like, remember when the guy brings them the coffee and he's like, thank you! I love the way you make them! Like, that whole thing, this just did not have enough Jim Carrey in it, and it was overly bloated for me, so just for me, it was pretty low on my list. Number 27, Deep Water. This movie is a hot piece of Nabisco cracker shit, I know. He's basically dating this girl who makes him out to be a cuck. He, like, goes into his snail pen and, like, plays with his snails. It's weird and fucking funny. Unlike C for Me, which is just boring and bad, this is hot shit. Bad, but also really funny and entertaining. Ben Affleck may be a serial killer, he may not be. It's just fucking stupid as shit. And she plays the piano at one point and goes, do 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 chips. I like Deep Water. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. Hot piece of shit though. Number 26, Studio 666. The first half of this movie was great. It's a Foo Fighters movie. Watching Dave Grohl and his band and rest in peace Taylor Hawkins hang out and just party through the first half of the movie. was the whole movie. The second half, where they tried to actually make it a horror film, it just wasn't a good horror film. So first half was like an 8.5 for me. The second half was like a 4. So ultimately I landed on like a 6. Number 25, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched this last night as well. A double feature called Men, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a dream come true if you're someone else. What? Anyways, I thought it was fine. I thought the cast was super likable. Just too fucking much for me. I thought sometimes it's like, you have a good idea, and like, let's just keep making it awesomer. Let's keep making it awesomer. Let's keep making it awesomer. And it just got kind of dumb to me, and I kind of lost interest in it because I knew what they were going for. They're just going to keep trying to top themselves. But it did have a nice and emotional hook to it. At number 24, Spiderhead. Not nearly as good as the movie I just said, but for my enjoyment, I liked it just that little bit more. This movie's dumb as shit. It starts out super serious, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, who runs this prison in the future where he takes lucky prisoners and he tries out new drugs on them. They have one that makes you want to fuck whoever you're in the room with, and you can't contain yourself. You just have to fuck them. So they're making random people fuck and do all sorts of strange shit to each other. Miles Teller's in it. This movie starts out super serious, and by the end they realize we lost the fucking plot, so they just start doing dumb shit. And it's like a bizarro world version of Michael Bay's The Island from a few years ago. More like 20, I'm old as shit. Number 23, Hatching. Now this is a movie complete opposite of that. Slow burn movie. It's about this little girl who's got the world's worst fucking mom ever, and she gets this egg with this bird in it, and it grows to like this fucking big, and she takes care of the bird, and when the bird hatches, it's like a fucking murderous goddamn velociraptor bird, and it goes around fucking eating people left and right. It's crazy, it's wild. It takes itself very seriously. It's like slow burn type of A24-ish kind of film. But at the end of the day, the practical effects of the bird are so fucking rad. It's worth a one-time watch. No doubt about it. Number 21? No, 22. I can't count, and that's why I do a YouTube channel. Number 21, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Was very pleased with this one. It's almost as good as Beavis and Butthead Do America. They didn't let 2020, the year of our dark fucking lord, slow them down. They went out and made the same kind of Beavis and Butthead they'd always done, and I appreciate them for that. Number 20, The Innocents. This is another one of those movies, very, very slow burn, takes itself very, very seriously, but the plot is about a bunch of kids who have like mutant-type superpowers. Only one of them is a little fuckface, and he likes to like murder cats and shit with it, and like murder other kids and human beings. So it's a really fucked up, dark, sinister, slow burn type of movie with some Wishmaster, with some really, really cool, dark, grotesque scenes in it. If you're into slow burn horror, definitely check out The Innocents. Number 19, the exact opposite of that, Dashcam. Rob Savage, the dude who did Host's second film, one of the ballsiest films you'll see all year. And what I mean by that is it's a found footage movie that literally just fucking throws the whole kitchen sink at you. I mean, everywhere you turn, there's wild shit. There's poop at one point in the backseat of a car. I'm not shitting, that actually happens. There's just everything that can happen happens, and it's a wild Mr. Toad's fucking ride of a movie. The lead character in this is a super fucking batshit politic crazy asshat. But she's also really cute and funny when she's not being a political asshat. So she says things that's gonna really piss people off. Now, I like the dick and fart jokes and stuff she does. I think she's hilarious. She like freestyle raps while she drives. It's weird. But then the next thing you know, she's screaming that COVID's not a real thing, and you're like, oh god, I fucking hate your guts. What happened? It's a weird fucking movie, man. Ballsy as shit. You gotta watch it. I think it says something about looking past each other's dumb political bullshit to have a good time. But I don't know, maybe it's just fucking there to piss you off and make you feel weird in your nether regions. Either way, number 19 was Dashcam. Number 18 is The Tinder Bar. This movie was fucking amazing halfway through. It's a touching story. Ben Affleck I wouldn't mind if he got an Oscar nomination for it. It's a coming of age story, but then by the end it turns into like corny memoir, and it kind of just like rushes past shit. But the first half of it's really great. I really wish we could have just followed Ben Affleck's story, because his character was just way more emotionally touching. Maybe I just want to touch Ben Affleck. I don't know. Did I say that out loud? Are we still live? Is the camera running? Yes, it is. We both know there's no film in this camera. I never learned to read. Number 17, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Now, I'm not a kids movie guy. I watch movies with my kids all the time, but I'm just not a huge kids movie. Not a lot of Disney stuff on my list here. But Chip 'n Dale's great because they do a whole bunch of meta shit and it's just a fun time to be had. On number 16, Clean. A movie went straight to VOD, an action movie starring Adrian Brody, who's underrated as fuck. This man should never be on VOD. Not that there's anything wrong with VOD, but that man's kind of acting ability should always be on the big screen. This is your classic revenge type thriller. It's a broken down man who's had a rough life and he's trying to protect this little girl and her mother, and to do so he has to like shave the sides of his head and fucking murder people in violent ways. And it's kind of like a death sentence revenge type movie, just a rough dude fucking action movie with a lot of emotional backsplash. Number 15, another movie with a former action star, straight to VOD. What the fuck? Gerard Butler stars in Last Seen Alive, which is basically an updated version of Kurt Russell's Breakdown. He's on the skits with his wife. She's leaving him. He's driving her, but they're splitting amicably. You can tell he's a good guy. The next thing you know, she goes missing, and guess who they're going to be like, hey, it's fucking you piece of shit who fucking was in 300. And then he has to go on the race against like these meth heads and all sorts of crazy shit because nobody believes him, and he's trying to save his wife. It's like Kurt Russell's Breakdown, basically. A good movie. Reminds you of the 90s type of suspenseful movies and shit like that. I recommend Last Seen Alive for sure. Gave it a 7.5. Also, the next few movies on my list could have all been in the top 10. These are all 7.5s for the next handful of movies. And I really moved them back and forth. You can really replace these with each other for the most part. Number 14 is going to be Jackass Forever. I love this movie because it was the old school Jackass we got. But to me, it was something extra special. The fact that they were this age and having to deal with the stuff that we deal with as we get older, and they had the balls to still go back and do it. Jackass Forever is one of my favorite Jackass movies for sure. That endeared me to it even more. A lot of dong, not nearly as much dong as was in the movie Men, though, and that was like old men dong. That's what elevated horror means, right? Like, it just means old men dong at this point. That's what I figure. But yeah, number 13, The Sadness. Speaking of movies with dong, now we got movies with balls. The Sadness is one of the meanest, most depraved, fucked up movies, not just zombie movies, but movies you'll ever see. It's on Shudder right now. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'll let you watch it, but all I'm going to say is that it does involve a dick and an eyeball. That will happen, but you just gotta give it credit for how fucking punk rock it is as a goddamn movie. I mean, this shit goes fucking crazy. Number 12, The Northman. I also gave a 7.5. People are going to be upset this is not in my top 10. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed different things than other people did. I enjoyed the revenge storyline. I enjoyed the war. I enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoyed Nicole Kidman. For me, what Robert Eggers does, he tries to sprinkle a little too much fancy juice on top of shit. Like, I don't need Willem Dafoe running around with his finger in his ass, smacking himself in the beard and singing fucking Howdy Doody. Like, I don't need the extra shit, you know? I would rather focus on the revenge plot storyline and the action, like I said. That being said, even then, The Northman's a great action movie, so it was a really good movie, one of the better ones I've seen this year. Number 11 is going to be Ty West's X. It's just nice to have an original slasher movie that's on the big screen to go see. Plus, the first half is basically a porno, so you're going to be entertained either way. But the old lady fucking gooey goose, that creeped me the hell out. It has some scares in it. It's a well-made slasher. It has some Texas Chainsaw Massacre feels, and I liked X a lot. At number 10, this is going to be too high for some people, and I get it. It's kind of Magoo, but it's the Adam Project. This came straight to Netflix. Ryan Reynolds, probably my favorite actor out there, so maybe that's part of it. But I thought it was a very touching, made me emotional, made me cry a couple times. A very touching movie about growing up, about your relationship with your parents and things like that. And yeah, it had some kind of shitty cornball Star Wars type of CGI moments in there, but I thought the movie was actually kind of overlooked. Maybe because it went straight to Netflix or whatever, but I thought the Adam Project was a damn good film. Number 9 for me, I'm going to go with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this is weird. I'm not a huge Disney guy. I haven't really enjoyed much of what Marvel's done post Endgame that much, sans maybe No Way Home. But Doctor Strange 2 fucking ruled, man. And I didn't even like the first Doctor Strange. I'm not crazy about the character. But this movie it's 2 words, basically. Sam fucking Raimi. And I know that that's 3 words. Go fuck yourself. They let Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi'd all over the place. Dude, Sam Raimi is one of my favorite directors of all time. I love the way he makes them. And he made this like one of his movies, and that's why I enjoyed it. It was a fucking raucous ride. Number 8, The Black Phone. I got shit for saying I was disappointed in this. It's still my number 8 film of the year so far, halfway through the year, and the reason I was disappointed is because I felt like I really wanted to get into The Grabber. That sounded wrong. I really wanted to get into the grabber's backstory. I wanted more Ethan Hawke. I thought he was going to have a lot more dialogue, a lot more lines. I thought some more freaky shit was going to happen. And basically, what I think happened here is we got maybe the greatest new horror character of the year in the grabber and Ethan Hawke. They nailed that shit. And you add Scott Derrickson's sinister type of, like, that cinematography that his movies have and that dark feel and the Seven style opening the movie had. I just was let down a little bit, even though it's still a 7.5. I was let down a little bit because it got kind of corny and Stranger Thingsy at the end with some of the ghost phone stuff and the kids, but ultimately still one of the best movies of the year. Going to be one of the best horror movies of the year for sure. And fucking Ethan Hawke, man, my God. Number 7, and this is where we piss people the fuck off, Jimbo Johnson Taylor. It's going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Yeah, I fucking said it, I did, and I don't give a fuck if I bought the cheap Cheez-Its. We are in a recession. Listen, man, this movie's, again, there are movies below this, quite a handful, that are better made films than this. What they did with Sally Hardesty, goddamn trash can juice, okay? I understand that. That was awful. Fucking awful. But it just, for me, it was so entertaining, and I love that character, and I love that universe, and I thought that they did stuff in here that was better than what they did with a lot of the other sequels, as far as entertainment, as far as watchability. Now, when it came out, a lot of people got pissed. They said, it's fucking woke, man. And they were like, no, man, it's making fun of fucking woke shit. And you're like, oh, goddamn, I might stick my finger in that one. And then some people stuck their finger in it and enjoyed it. They're talking about doing 2 fingers next time and doing maybe sequels to this. But yeah, look, man, I just thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I've rewatched it several times. I think it's a good little wild slasher. So I'm going to catch shit for that one. Yes, I am. But number 6, completely going the other route. My first 8 out of 10 on the list is going to be Elvis. And man, I did not want to see this movie. I did not want to see it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My wife is a huge Baz Luhrmann person. I fucking hate Baz Luhrmann movies for the most part. Not all of them, but I just don't like it's like overjuiced fucking stylization and shit that he does. I thought it was going to be kind of corny. Went and saw it, and the first half was super Baz Luhrmann-y, but the second act, he calmed down, took his foot off the brake a little bit, and I cried like 3 fucking times. Was like sobbing when the movie ended. I went, oh fuck, man, the lights are about to come on. Movies usually only make you cry in the middle. I'm at the end of the movie, they're about to put the lights on, everybody's gonna go, ha ha, that fucking guy's crying. But it was just a sad movie, man. What they did to Elvis and how they sucked him dry, and not in a good way. I'm sure that happened too. He was Elvis, but yeah, the way they bled him dry, man, was just so heartbreaking, and it was such a well acted, really emotional story in the second half. I absolutely loved Elvis. I thought the second half of that movie was some of the best filmmaking I've seen all goddamn year. I recommend it. I do. Number 5, Dinner in America. Now this stars Kyle Gallagher. Kyle Gallner, who this movie is like a romance SLC punk. It shocked the shit out of me, man. I absolutely loved it. Another one that had me kind of teary by the end of it. Now, I implore you guys, if you watch this movie, the first 15-20 minutes, you gotta get through. It's not that it's bad, it's entertaining, but this lead character, you're gonna fucking hate it first, right? You gotta figure out what's going on with the story a little bit, because he says some things that I can't believe he said in 2022 to people, and you're like, God damn, that dude's a piece of fucking shit tarts. But by the end of it, by 30 minutes in, you go, I fucking kind of like this guy. So it's punk as fuck, man. It's not meant to be accessible to everyone. Some people still aren't going to like it, but it's a really fucked up love story. It's a really ballsy ass movie. It's hilarious. It is challenging, I'll say at times, and just really fucking underrated, man. Number 5 on my list for the whole year so far, and I imagine it staying pretty high up there. I fucking loved it. Number 3, The Batman. You guys might be shocked to have this be so high on my list, considering how much I fucking complain about The Batman. That being said, I've always maintained it was a great movie. It's probably the 5th or 6th best Batman movie to me. And that's just because I love fucking Batman movies. Sue me, right? I love the whole universe Matt Reeves created here. I love the look, the noir feel of it, the darkness to it, the fucking Nirvana grunge he's added to it. I love Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit. Not so much a fan of the Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson. No, it's not for me. I do not like Little Man. I thought the movie had a lot of problems that nobody seems to mention. I don't think it's close to the best Batman film ever. That being said, though, it's still an 8.5. They still made a really great movie. Would I have done 1,000 things different if I was in control of the character of Batman? Fuck yeah, I would have. But that being said, as a movie, as a dark noir crime movie, really good fucking amazing movie. You can't knock it for that. Number 2, it's gonna be Top Gun Maverick for me. Now this movie is an 8.5 out of 10. I'm not a Top Gun guy. I'm not crazy about it, but god damn, man, when you put Tom Cruise in a movie these days, you're just gonna get everything that a tentpole movie is supposed to be in the summertime. And they really just brought back not just the nostalgia of Top Gun, but the nostalgia of when movies were made different, when they didn't use computers for fucking everything. You could feel them in those goddamn jet planes, man. And they spent so much time working on the nuances, from the romance to the fucking comedy to the drama to the emotion to the action scenes. Top Gun Maverick just embodies what movies are supposed to be. At least summer tentpole movies. It just had it all, man. It was like it was made in a fucking machine. And the ironic thing is it was one of the only movies that doesn't get made in a fucking machine, at least special effects wise. Just an amazing goddamn movie, man. I checked every single box you could ever hope a movie to check, and just fucking ruled. Number 1 for me, gonna piss people off again, Sydney. It's gonna be Scream 5, and I don't give a fuck if it's not yours. I'm sure it's not. That's fine. Again, there are better films beneath this, but for me, for enjoyment, for what I love, I fucking love the Scream franchise. I love it so much, and I think they took the Scream franchise and they made a solid entry in it. Now, you may have hated, and the people who don't like it absolutely hate it. I've seen people say, I've never watched a Scream movie again, this is, you know, so on and so forth. But whether you thought that the reveal was too obvious or you hated, I fucking hated that they killed Dewey. I think it's one of the worst mistakes the franchise has ever made. But as a movie, when you watch it, it's got so much rewatchability to it. I've already watched it more than I have any other movie on this list. And to be fair, it did come out in February, but I will definitely watch it more in the future than any other movie on this list. I love Scream movies. I thought the character of Ghostface was done great. I thought Richie was fantastic. I loved, even though the reveal may not have been surprising, his turn was done really well. And I don't think anybody ever talks about that. I love the new characters that they brought in. Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega. I think that they just made a solid ass Scream movie. And for me, it's just my most rewatchable, my favorite to sit back and enjoy movie that I've seen all year long. And I can't wait to see what they do with 6. Now in 6, they are going to have to start to do some surprises and do some different things. But I just think Scream 5 fucking ruled, man. And I'm sorry if you don't. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about all this. I know some people are going to be angry about some of these picks, but I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being fucking me. But yeah, one thing I want to know. If you haven't seen that many movies, what's your top 5? What's your top 10? Whatever. Comment it down below. What's your favorite movie of 2022? Comment that down below. And also, if you have a Letterboxd, if you know how many new movies have you seen in 2022? I would love to know. Thank you all so much for spending the time with me to watch this long-ass video today. And I can't wait to do it again at the end of the year. What are you guys most looking forward to in the future this year? Because it's weird. Like, the top movies in 8.5, I don't know how this year's gonna go, right? Like the second half, it seemed like the first half had even more promise. I know we have Halloween Ends coming up, but it's gonna be fun to look back and see what's dropped on this at the end of the year. But anyways, I'll get the fuck out of here. If you all would, please click the like button, that helps a bunch. Subscribing helps a bunch. Clicking the bell helps a super bunch. And share the video, you get fucking ultimate suck it signs going around your house all day long. Hey mom, what's up? Do the laundry. Suck it, mom.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn. God damn you, faggot. I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God